King Harris has been arrested after not appearing in court and some other things connected.
T.I.'s son, King Harris. So allegedly, I guess he got to jail and they jumped on him in there. Say it's bad. And allegedly, I don't know how true it is, but you got people putting in the comments that somebody busted open. That's messed up.
Fresh footage just dropped, and it's beyond brutal. King Harris, son of rap icon T.I., caught in a jailhouse ambush so vicious it could have been ripped straight from a crime movie. One moment, he's pacing the block like it's just another day. The next, he's surrounded, fists flying, guards rushing, chaos swallowing the scene. Now King's fighting for his life in intensive care while the internet debates, was this random jailhouse violence? Or a planned takedown meant to send a message?
Like my nigga. I don't have no gang. I ain't in no gang. I got family. I got motherfuckers who willing to risk their lives and freedom to die by me and mine. You hear me? Well, don't fucking play with me, man. Don't fucking play with my motherfucking child, nigga. Ever, nigga.
King Harris's downfall didn't begin with the beating, it began with his ego. He blew off court dates, stacked up charges, and walked into the system like his last name made him untouchable. Spoiler alert, it didn't. What should have been a simple booking turned into a disaster even the Harris family couldn't control. Guards recall King strolling through intake like he was still on Family Hustle cracking jokes, flexing and performing for invisible cameras. Inside, that attitude was gasoline on an open flame. Within weeks, the whispers started. Too arrogant, too loud, too known. He wasn't another inmate, he was a trophy. Every eye in the block was locked on the kid, acting like he owned the place. Then it hit literally. A setup in the shadows, fists coming from every direction. By the time guards reacted, King was limp, alarms screaming through the chaos. This wasn't a fight. It was an execution-style ambush.
King, have you ever woke up with a roach on your face?
Here. No, that's not the goal.
All right, then. So there it goes.
In your ear.
I don't know what you're talking about.
I had in the neighborhood with me that broke up with roach in your ear. Y'all want to go to the bando in my neighborhood? Do y'all want to go to the bando? Do y'all want to go to the...
For a family built on drama, this was the twist no one predicted. 1 second, King's talking tough online. The next, he's hooked to hospital machines. His parents frantic on phones, lawyers scrambling behind the scenes. The Harris name has been dragged through plenty before, but not like this. This time, the issue isn't reputation. It's survival. And survival doesn't care if your father once ruled the South.
So I just want to say this. First and foremost, there's no shame, no embarrassment in getting packed out, getting beat up. As long as you fight, you're respected. Now, did King fight? We don't know. I'm gonna tell you my personal opinion about T.I.'s son, King. I think that young brother is a pure bitch.
The new details leaking out are downright chilling. King wasn't just attacked, he was hunted. Insiders say the whole thing was orchestrated like a setup from a crime thriller. Guards were suddenly redirected, cameras malfunctioned, and King was guided straight into a dead zone where 3 men were already waiting. The first hit came from behind, knocking him down before he could even react. From there, it was pure chaos. Boots, fists, and makeshift blades cutting through the air until guards finally stormed in. By then, King was barely conscious, face swollen, body limp, the block filled with shouts and laughter. The aftermath was cold and methodical. Alarms screamed, inmates were shoved back to their cells, and King was hauled out under heavy guard. The prison went into lockdown, but the damage was done. Blood stained the floor, and whispers spread like wildfire. The Golden Boy had been humbled. And make no mistake, this wasn't random. This was a message. Now the real question, was this chaos or a calculated hit from day one? Because the footage feels way too organized to be coincidence.
You already know that when you come to jail, everybody jealous of what you done had in your life. That's just part of the culture. Like, I wish I would have had millionaire parents.
Here's the real twist. What exactly was the message behind the attack? Some believe it was all about respect. Others claimed King got tangled in the wrong deal, a contraband exchange that went sideways. But darker theories suggest this wasn't even about him. It was about sending a warning to his father. Behind those prison walls, a name like Harris carries weight, and sometimes destroying a legacy hurts more than any weapon ever could. The viral footage doesn't show everything, just a flash of King trying to rise before being dragged down again. A blur of fists and then darkness. Still, that short clip was enough to ignite the internet. Hashtags exploded. TikToks remixed his downfall. Twitter split in half, some mocking him, others calling it a tragedy. But one truth cuts through it all. Inside prison, fame isn't armor, it's a target.
Hey, about King, right?
Yes.
As much criticism as I receive about my son, I would like to shed light on the fact. We all got bad kids.
Let's be honest, King Harris never stood a real chance inside. From the moment he stepped in, he carried the weight of a name soaked in privilege, fame, and controversy. This was the kid raised on luxury, flashing designer fits online, talking tough from the comfort of mansions. In prison, that's an open invitation, a neon sign that says, "Test me." And they did. Former inmates say King's biggest downfall wasn't his rap sheet, it was his ego. He allegedly boasted about his father's money, demanded respect without earning it, even tried recording content from behind bars. For hardened inmates, that was straight disrespect. As one ex-con put it, "We don't care who your daddy is. In here, you earn it or you get dealt with." Add in the Harris family baggage, lawsuits, scandals, that viral Falcons game chokehold, and King became a lightning rod for hate. To men with nothing but time, he wasn't a threat. He was a symbol. A spoiled kid pretending to survive in a world he was never built for.
Steve Sadar reached out to me looking to make a deal on behalf of T.I. and Tiny. And I told Steve Sadar that my clients want justice. So if the deal involves Tiny and T.I. turning themselves in and admitting to the crime that they've committed, then fine, we got a deal. But if it does not, then I would prefer to have the investigators do their work and to bring criminal charges against Tiny and T.I.
The irony cuts deep. On the outside, King Harris was desperate to prove he wasn't just T.I.'s pampered son. He wanted the streets to stamp his name in blood, not privilege. But inside those walls, that act collapsed instantly, because behind bars, status means nothing. Respect isn't inherited, it's earned. And when you fake toughness in a world built on survival, eventually reality catches up. For King, it came fast, fists flying, boots stomping, blood-soaking cold concrete. The setup was too clean, the timing too perfect. The guards missing, the cameras cutting, this wasn't chaos. It was a message wrapped in violence.
You not gonna get that from me. You just not. You ain't gonna never get that from me. You can go and catch 1,000 bodies, and you still gonna be my son. I ain't finna treat you like, hardened criminal. I don't give a damn what you go out there and do. So you just gonna have to. You just gonna have to. That's what you gonna get from me.
But the real explosion isn't in the prison, it's inside the Harris mansion. Chaos behind $1 million gates. T.I.'s reportedly losing it, pacing nonstop, calling in favors from every lawyer, politician, an old street contact who still picks up his number. He's throwing money and promises like confetti, trying to save his son. Tiny, though? She's not playing along. Insiders say she's taken charge of her own operation, PR damage control, private security calls, anything to keep her son breathing and her name clean. The couple's once tight bond is cracking. Tiny allegedly blames T.I.'s tough love for pushing King into self-destruction. T fires back that Tiny spoiled him into arrogance. "You wanted fame, now deal with fallout?" he reportedly snapped. Even the extended family split, half say stay quiet, half say go public before the story buries them.
T.I.'s son got King Harris and Boosie's son. They talk to the police like the pigs they are. And they finally got a chance to say, all right, we're going to let somebody snatch a knot in their butt. So, ain't no telling what done happened to that boy. And then you got people all over the internet. Everybody know he was served with a silver spoon in his mouth. But you got people on the internet laughing about it.
And hovering over it all, the ghosts of their past. Those old trafficking rumors that almost burned their empire to ashes. They've come roaring back. Enemies are whispering that the family's dirty image made King a target in the first place. Inside the home, it's panic and paranoia. Outside, their once glossy family hustle, legacy has shattered into a living nightmare. No cameras, no filters, just real pain and public humiliation. The so-called royal family of hip-hop is cracking wide open, and the internet? It's front row, popcorn in hand, watching the empire collapse one headline at a time.
Like I'm the only one on here who got bad-ass kids.
We all go through
You
it.
feel what I'm saying?
Yeah.
If you ain't got no bad-ass kids, you got one and you got lucky. You hear me? Anybody with 3 or more,
multiples.
you got one that you don't know what the hell you gonna do with.
Right.
You feel me?
This is where the story shifts from tragedy to straight-up thriller. Insiders now claim King's ambush had nothing to do with ego or respect. It was business. Prison business. Word spreading inside says a contraband exchange went sideways, and King either shorted someone or tried to outsmart the wrong crew. In that world, loyalty isn't optional, it's survival. Slip up once, and it's not a fight you face, it's a death warrant. Sources describe the setup like clockwork. King guided to a blind corner, cameras cutting out at the perfect time. Officials called it a technical malfunction. Former inmates call that a joke. Cameras don't glitch, they get switched off. Guards being pulled away at the same moment. Too neat. Too planned. It stinks of an inside job.
So the dynamics here are interesting, but I can't judge how the parenting has gone, because everything that we've seen has been stuff that many of us would have said or similar if we saw our children do this. But I will say this. A lot of what's happening is because it's in the public. Like most children don't have to do this in the public.
And then it gets darker. Some corners of the internet are claiming this wasn't even inmate on inmate, but something much deeper. Theories are flying that King was silenced to bury bigger secrets tied to the Harris family's long list of scandals. One viral TikTok even suggested the leaked clip was no accident. It was released as a warning. Sounds wild, right? But when the cameras go dead, the blood spills, and every source contradicts the next. The internet doesn't wait for facts, it runs on spectacle. And the Harris name has always been a magnet for enemies, from the industry to the courtroom to the cell block. King's downfall might not just be his own doing. It might be payback aimed at the family's throne.
Any other time, I don't even call the police like for accidents. It ain't even no 911 call with my voice on it. If a motherfucker break in my house, I am not calling the police. I ain't doing it. You break in my car, steal some of my car, I am not calling.
Pull back, and this isn't just about one violent ambush, it's about legacy collapsing in real time. The Harris family built their image on royalty, music hits, TV fame, and scandal management. But King's fall has shaken that entire foundation. Fans aren't just asking if he'll survive, they're asking if the dynasty will. Because the truth is vicious. King's privilege, his public ego, his obsession with proving he was real, it all fed the fire that consumed him. Now every headline, every contraband rumor, every old trafficking accusation bleeds together into one devastating picture. T once crowned himself the King of the South. Now, his own son is clinging to life while his marriage fractures and his name burns. Fame once built the Harris empire, now it's tearing it apart. The world's watching, waiting to see if King crawls out of this alive, or if this marks the end of hip-hop's most scandal-fed dynasty. Because this isn't just about one man behind bars, it's about whether the Harris name itself can survive the fall.